Hello, Hufflepuff Hollis here. Another day, another life contemplating session, which calls for another Harry Potter video, or in this case, Fantastic Beasts. If you haven't seen Crimes of Grindlewald, then you shouldn't be here. So, Crimes of Grindlewald has been out for a while now, and a lot of people walked out of that theater with millions of questions and a lot of feelings. At least I did. And one of the biggest questions from this movie is, who the F is Aurelius Dumbledore? Like, who is he? So as soon as the movie came out, I became an expert on the Dumbledore family. I ran all around the internet. I went everywhere. I read everything I can to make sure I knew everything there is to know currently about the Dumbledore family. And then I also read the script for Crimes of Grindlewald that came out as well. I read through all the important scenes to make sure that I didn't miss anything. And by the time I did all that, other YouTubers had their own theories. So between all of this, I've gathered enough evidence to come to my conclusion. It's not original or anything, but this is just what I think. So I think that Credence is a Dumbledore. I definitely thought that Grindelwald was lying. I thought him being a Dumbledore was the great lie, but it might not be. What is the great lie is that Aurelius is Albus's brother. There's just no way. No way that they are brothers. Now, this brought up the theory that maybe Aurelius is Albus's nephew, the son of Aberforth, or even Ariana, which I doubt Aberforth, something just tells me that he's not Aberforth's son. And I also don't believe that it's Ariana's son either, because she died when she was 14, 15, 16. And I think she died way before Credence was even born. I believe Credence was born in 1901. And by that time, the Dumbledore father, Albus's father, was already in Azkaban. I think their mother was already dead. I think Ariana was dead. I think Aberforth had disowned Albus altogether. I think that whole confrontation with Albus and Grindelwald already happened. I think all of that was out of the way by the time Credence was born. So I do not think that Aurelius has anything to do with that little part of the family. I do think that he is a Dumbledore somehow. I think he could be a cousin of sorts. If you look at the script, the woman who brought Credence on the boat in the first place is known as Credence's aunt. So that wasn't his mother I thought when I first saw the film, that it's his aunt. It could be Albus's aunt on his father's side. I know there was little bits of evidence. I think in Tales of Beedle and Bard there's a reference to Albus's aunt, so a lot of people think that might be her, or some other aunt that we don't know. We don't know the full Dumbledore family tree. So this is all we've got to go on. So I think that's what it is. That Credence's aunt was somehow Albus's aunt, or some sort of relative of Albus's aunt on his father's side. And I think Aurelius is a cousin of sorts to Albus, but not his brother. I don't know if I'm explaining it clearly, but this is my theory. I definitely think that he could be a Dumbledore, because the Phoenix thing kind of sets it in stone. But it also begs the question, like, you know, it could still be very well a lie. Because we all know that Grindelwald wants to use Aurelius as a means to kill Albus. So there's definitely lies going on. I don't know if it's a complete lie, because he could have just staged the whole thing easily. If it turns out that Credence is a nobody, like he's not related to them at all, I wouldn't be surprised. If it turns out that he's actually the cousin, I wouldn't be surprised. If it actually turns out that he's Albus's brother, I'd be like, how? But whatever. I'd be kind of disappointed, because there's just no way. There's just, logically thinking about it, there's no way that that's Albus's brother. Like, I think Albus is like 20 years older than Aurelius. It just doesn't make sense. The timeline just doesn't match up. Like, Aurelius and Albus are not brothers, but they could be cousins. I will totally buy that. I also buy that he's just, that the whole thing is just a huge lie that Grindelwald put together. I'll believe that too. I know the Super Carlin brothers have a theory that Aurelius is actually a human born from the loneliness and sadness and absence of love that Albus had at some point in his life. I'll link their video below, because it is an interesting theory, but I disagree with them. That's just weird. At least we don't know enough to definitively say that, I guess. Like, there's just a lot of magic laws that surround their theory that we just don't know. So I can't debunk it, or, you know, I can't agree or disagree with it. But it is an interesting theory, and if that turns out to be the truth too, I guess I wouldn't be surprised either. But bottom line is, Aurelius is anybody but Albus's brother. And I'm putting my money on a cousin of some sort. Unfortunately, it looks like we won't know for a very long time. The pre-production of the film was delayed, so if the pre-production was delayed, who's to say that the release date is not delayed either? So, hopefully they don't change the release date. As I'm feeling right now, it's still November 2020, and I hope, if there's any answer that we get in the next movie, I hope it's that. Anyways, that concludes this video. Please comment down below what your theory is. Do you think it's the cousin? Do you actually think it's the brother? Do you think it's some totally crazy thing that we're just not thinking? Please comment down below. Let's get a conversation started about Aurelius. Let's get a conversation started about the Dumbledore's family in general. Let's just talk about Albus. You know, do you like Albus Dumbledore, or do you hate him? Let's get that conversation going, because I know that sparks controversy. Or just talk about Harry Potter or Fantastic Beasts in general. Let's just get a conversation going. That's the whole point of my channel, trying to bring Potter fans together. So comment, you know, anything. Let's just get this conversation going, and let's help grow the Harry Potter community here on Hufflepuff Hollis. Alright, so check you guys later. Hufflepuff Hollis out.